Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101 Thursday Night Football pregame show. We're going to talk about the Thursday Night Football game between the Bills and Dolphins, recap it, actually. And, well, it was Buffalo fans cheered so loudly in Hard Rock Stadium that Bills coach Sean McDermott was asked if it was a home game, but it wasn't. Buffalo certainly gave fans who made the trip to South Florida plenty to celebrate Thursday night. James Cook caught a touchdown pass and ran for two scores, and the Bills routed Miami 31 to 10 with with Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa leaving early because of a concussion. Uh, Tagovailoa left in the third quarter after uh, uh, battling with defensive back, colliding with defensive back, Damar Hamlin, and hitting the back of his head against the turf. Tagovailoa was quickly ruled out with the concussion, casting doubt on his season after a history of dealing with head injuries. Very sad. It's the worst part of the game. Bills quarterback Josh Allen said nothing but love and prayers to him and his family. And hopefully everyone is sending those because he is going to need them. Coach Mike McDaniel did not specify if the Dolphins would place Tagovailoa on injured reserve, saying the team would evaluate him more Friday. I'm just worried about my teammate, like the rest of the guys are. McDaniel said, uh, we'll get more information tomorrow, which hopefully they did yesterday, and then take it day by day. Allen playing with a glove on his left non-throwing hand after hurting in Buffalo's opener, completed 13 of 19 passes for 139 yards. He's 12 and 2 against the Dolphins, and the Bills are 14 and 2 against Miami since McDermott's first year as head coach in 2017. McDermott praised the outing from his defense, had three turnovers, and held Miami's high-flying offense to a touchdown and field goal despite missing several starters. Next man up, the guys did a great job, McDermott says. These guys work hard. Good things happen when you work hard, and sometimes the ball finds you like that. Cook caught a 17-yard touchdown pass from Allen and scored on runs of 1 and 49 yards in the first half, flipping into the end zone when he gave the Bills a 24-7 lead. The three first half touchdowns tied a team record as long as they trust me, and I'm going to get in the end zone, Cook said. Allen didn't appear limited by the left hand that he hurt after hurdling safety Bubba Baker in Buffalo's opener against the Cardinals. He had his hand heavily wrapped before returning to finish that game and practiced all week with a glove to protect it. Uh, after the game and before leaving the field, Allen held up his hand and flexed it in front of fans as if it to display that it's not broken. Feels great, Allen said later. Backup Mitchell Trubisky replaced Allen late in the fourth quarter Thursday with Buffalo up by 21. Miami's star receiver Tyreek Hill was held to three catches for 25 yards during a week in which he dominated national headlines. Hill was pulled from his sports car by Miami-Dade country police officers, which faced first onto the street and handcuffed during a traffic stop outside the Dolphins' home stadium hours before the season opener. Officer Danny Torres was placed on administrative duty after the department's director launched an internal affairs investigation, Hill said. He wants the officer fired, but the 30-year-old also acknowledged he could have handled the interaction better in the moments. Buffalo scored 10 points off of two first-half turnovers by Tagovailoa. Jamarcus Ingram intercepted Tagovailoa's pass on a tipped ball intended for receivers Grant Dubose on Miami's opening drive. Then Christian Bedford picked off a pass, on what appeared to be miscommunication between the quarterback and receiver. Robbie Chosen, both Dubose and Chosen arrived to the team after the preseason. Tagovailoa threw another interception to Ingram, trying to toss the ball out of bounds on Miami's opening drive of the third. Ingram returned the ball 31 yards for a score that put Buffalo up 31-10, and it was Tagovailoa's third career game with 3 interceptions. Tagovailoa ran for a first down with 4:36 in the third and collided headfirst into Hamlin and hit his head on the ground. Bills players, as well as Tagovailoa's teammates, immediately waved for trainers to come to the field. The fifth-year quarterback, was helped to his feet, and after a few minutes, he walked under his own power to the locker room with trainers after throwing a 145 for 145 yards and a 5-yard touchdown to Devon Kane. Tagovailoa was diagnosed with 2 concussions in 2022. Skylar Thompson replaced him Thursday. I'm not worried about anything that's out of my hands, McDaniel said. I'm just worried about the human being. He'll dive into the ship when we get the appropriate information. Bills middle linebacker and captain Terrell Bernard left with a pectoral injury in the first quarter and did not return. Dolphins starting offensive lineman Terran Armstead and Rob Jones both left with shoulder injuries, and Jeff Wilson Jr. left with a Bielke injury and did not return. So they'll have to wait till the third week. And Bills host Jacksonville on Monday Night Football on September 23rd. And the Dolphins are at Seattle on the next Sunday on the 22nd. But Tagovailoa leaving the game with a concussion, that really hurt Miami. And they just couldn't get their game going. And I got to give the game balls to the Bills. I got to give them to the Bills. Josh Allen, 13 of 19, carries and attempts, 139 yards, 1 touchdown. James Cook, 11 attempts, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Kyle Shakir, 5 receptions, 54 yards. Well, Miami will have to regroup and see what they'll do if they can really overcome when they play the Seattle Seahawks next Sunday. And the Bills will try to go to 3-0 when they face Jacksonville. And we do have a lot of NFL action that's coming up tomorrow. Beginning with the 1 o'clock games, Los Angeles is in Baltimore to take on the Ravens. The LA Chargers are in Carolina at Bank of America Stadium to take on the Panthers. The Saints are in Dallas at AT&T Stadium to take on the Cowboys in Big D. Mayfield and the Buccaneers are in Detroit to take on the Lions. The Colts are in Green Bay at Lambeau Field to take on the Packers. The Browns are in Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. And that very well could be Watson's last game. We'll have to wait and see if he gets suspended for that allegation. And the woman who did had evidence. San Francisco's in Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Seattle's in Foxborough and New England to take on the Patriots. The Jets are in Nashville to take on the Titans. The Giants are in Washington to take on the Commanders. And now in the 4 o'clock games, the Rams are in Arizona to take on the Cardinals at State Farm Stadium. Uh, the Bengals are in Arrowhead Stadium to take on the Chiefs in Kansas City. The Steelers are in Denver to take on the Broncos. The Bears are in Houston to take on the Texans and CJ Stroud. On Sunday Night Football, that's the 8:20 game. And on Monday Night Football, the Atlanta Falcons are in Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. So those are the games coming up for week 2 tomorrow. And I'll be back with that for my Scott Sports 101 Browns NFL early games pregame show. I was supposed to have a really close friend of mine, but for a various reason, he is not able to. And so I will have him on, though, my really close friend, who I was supposed to have on October 20th, week 7, when they do the Battle of Ohio between the Browns and Bengals. So you'll see him now. But hopefully, maybe tomorrow on my postgame show, we'll have my colleague from Manoia, Keith Norman, Keith in Lakewood, who I do sports with, and here's a regular guest on the big show. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Scott Sports 101 Thursday Night Football post-game show. And as I said, until I'm back tomorrow with the Scott Sports 101 Browns and early games pregame show and everything else. Until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.